Welcome to the Good Karma Sport Fishing Podcast. I'm your host, Captain Ryan Van Fleet. Bonus podcast today, guys, fishing tip. But before I get into the fishing tip, I just want to talk a little bit about for the guys that ordered the Wahoo Fishing Slayer Seminar Series Part 1, which has to do with how I run my downrigger at high speeds. So I will be finishing up Part 3 on Sunday. Hopefully, if the weather's good and all that good stuff. So hopefully I'll be able to finish that up. I'm going to be talking about some tricks with that, how I run the number 10 planer deep and at a high rate of speed. I mean, I'm running them, I'm running planers deep at between depths of, 25 feet to 50 feet. So I'm going to show you guys how I run the number 10 down that deep. It's so critical that you're getting those baits down deep. I can't even begin to tell you how important it is. So, but anyway, so that will be, I'm going to finish that up. Now the price for the Wahoo Slayer Seminar Series Part 1, which has to do with downriggers and how I run them, that price is going to go up, and then all the bonuses that I have in there are going to go away. So now I'm also working on filming Part 2 of the Wahoo Slayer Seminar Series, and that has to do with I think that's going to be trolling patterns and lures. So there are things lures that I use that I don't share. So I'm going to be sharing those in the series along with the other new stuff that I'm doing here for this season. So you can find the Wahoo Slayer series on my tackle store website, goodkarmafishingtackle.com, and it's in the section called courses. So I've got courses in there for like how I make the chum balls, and like I've got a new course in there for power drifting, where basically you're out there with me fishing on the and I show you guys exactly how I power drift, and I give you guys some tips on actual compass degrees, and I show you guys an actual spot to look for on your GPS, meaning that I show you exactly what a red grouper rock looks like. So, and then as we fly over the red grouper rock, we catch a big red grouper. So it's pretty cool. But so tackle tip. So I've been getting, actually I just got another email on this, and it's about flatlining ballyhoo, live ballyhoo, while you're yellowtail fishing. I know a lot of guys love to do this. Personally, I don't, because what happens is when I'm strictly targeting yellowtails, what I found is that, especially when I'm targeting flags on the flag spots, is that due to the amount of pressure in the keys on certain areas, that the fish are really picky right now. So you got to come at them with everything you got, and you hope you get them on the day when they're really stupid. So it's just, the fish are just really spooky, and I kind of figured it would happen with the amount of people that were fishing this with COVID. So at least that's what I've been seeing. So personally, when I yellowtail fish, I don't like to put a flat line on the surface for yellowtails. But what I like to do is, number one, why I don't like to do it is that the ballyhoo goes everywhere, swims everywhere, tends to tangle up shit. That's why I don't put it on the surface and let it swim everywhere, because it just tends to be forgotten. And with all the TV shows, they tell you to put a flat line out there. I think it's a bunch of horse shit, so I don't do it, and it tends to mess up the yellowtail schools, and I don't know, it just causes a lot of unneeded chaos. And so, but anyways, if you really want to get dialed in on catching fish with a live bait on a flat line, you need to learn how to fly a kite while you're at anchor. Now, I do this on the patch reefs. But I have to have the right crews, because you really got to be focused on the kite, and the people have to be kind of self-sufficient in order to keep that live bait dangling back there. And if you're not doing that as a recreational fisherman, and you have a good team that you're fishing with, then I highly suggest that you learn how to do that And it's really simple to fly a kite from anchor, especially if the wind is, I mean, if the wind's right and you're not putting up a kite, and then it's better to do that, because why is that when you're targeting flag yellowtails, you should only be using one line at a time, especially in the upper keys. The upper keys yellowtail fishing is getting harder for big flags, okay? So in the course I'm working on, I'm going to show you guys how I do it when I do it, and I have to have the right, I got to have the right crew, and the crew's got to be guys that have fished with me over the years, that know the style and are self-sufficient, that I've trained. Because when you're putting a kite up, you really got to have somebody on that kite at all times keeping that bait right. But I have to tell you that your catch rate with big fish is going to go way up when you start putting a kite out while you're yellowtail fishing, and put a ballyhoo back on there or a pilchard and watch what happens. Especially if you're fishing in depths of, like, in the fall, in like 100 feet out to 120 for yellowtails. And if you can get that kite banked off to where it's running way out there, and you catch some speedos, and you put a speedo out on that kite, you watch what's going to happen. I can't tell you, like, I'm not even going to, like, it's gonna, like, take your fishing to a whole nother level. So and for the guys that don't like the wahoo fish, like meaning troll for hours, just go, and you want to set up for yellowtail in the fall, get yourselves in there about 100 120 feet, get a hold of some speedos in your chum and get them out on the kite and bank it off to the deep side if you can do it. You don't even need to do that. They'll find you in there, okay? You got all that bait in there in the fall, they're going to find you. If you want to catch sailfish, 100 120 feet in the Keys, and that's where they're going to be out to 140 in the early part of the season. And also, too, watch the big yellowtails explode on those pilchards back there. Watch what happens. It's pretty amazing, man. So just something for you, like, reef fishermen that really want to, like, if you're flatlining those live ballyhoo back there on, it's just a pain in the ass, man. You're asking for tangles, and so anyways, so if you really want to get I'm just giving you a little tip on the kite. So, and when you're setting up to do that, you don't need to, like, put all those lines on there. I mean, or set up like a sailfish guy would. Keep it simple. Just do a one line rig, kite rig, and you can use a manual reel for that because you're not chasing down the fish. So keep it really simple. You can use a Tadacom bowl, electric, but I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm doing it this fall, so more than I did last year, because I've got a lot, and I'm doing with the clients that are trained with me, and they really know. That way, they're very sufficient at putting on their own bait and getting things rolling. So, but I'm going to be doing that in the fall. I'm going to put out a course on it so you guys can see how I do it personally. That way, and then you guys can get prepared. I'm going to show you what kite I use, because I don't use one of those standard kites out there. So I use something else. But anyways, so for the guys that want to put out the flat line, here's what I suggest: is you go ahead and set up your standard 40. I would do that. This is how I, set up your standard mutton rig, but go longer on your leader. So I would go out to, when I do it, which I don't do very often, is I go out to 75 to 100 feet, okay? And then you free line your bait out to 75, 100 feet, and you hook the bait through the asshole, the lower anus part, and then from there you attach I personally attach a bank sinker, and I use the balloon fisher clips, and I use the mutton crusher rig, which is available for sale, and as far as learning how to do that in my courses. And then I set that flat line down 3 to 4 feet, okay, below the water. So, and sometimes I'll go down just 5 feet. And then that way, what happens is that allows the bait, it keeps the bait in position, And really, guys, it doesn't last long back there. It gets destroyed because of the way that I have the bait hooked and the action. So when you hook a bait through the nostrils and you're trying to flatline it out there, the bait swims back towards you. He swims all over the place. So if you really want to flatline a bait, you need to hook the bait through the ass. You need to throw it way out there, and you just need to start free lining him out so he swims away from you and not back towards you. Okay, and that way you'll keep your line tight. And I've been watching all these. I mean, over the years, I've seen these TV shows, and they're saying hook the bait through the nostrils so it's still natural. Well, the damn bait swims back towards you. He swims all over the place, and I'm like, what the fuck? So this is how you do it. You hook him through the ass. You throw him out there. You let him swim out. Okay, and then you attach a bank sinker using whatever way you want to do it. I use my mutton crusher rig because it sets the hook on their ass, and it's easy to get that sinker off. Using the standard way, the way you hook through the swivel and stuff, the lines get all caught up, and it's just like drives me crazy. So I use the method that I came up with the mutton crusher. So I'm going to sum it up for you. I talked about a couple other things because I went off on a tangent, which I usually do during the podcast. So I want you to level up your game if you really are into like playing with that ballyhoo on the flat line. And so the most effective way is to put a kite out. Okay, that is the absolute best way to get a live bait in the back and watch what happens. If you're really into catching like mackerels and you really want to try to catch a wahoo, but you don't want to go through all that work of trolling for hours and you don't really know how to do it, but you're really good at reef fishing, just get a kite and then practice that a little bit and get a bait out. You can put a ballyhoo out on a kite. Don't let anybody tell you can't. I do it all the time when I do run the kites on the patries, and the fish destroy them. Okay? And really, you're not like into hardcore like sail fishing. You're just trying to get a bait out there, and all you got to do is just get it out there and get it moving a little bit. But really, if you got the pilchards or the small blue runners, they'll go nuts for them. So you just watch what happens. But especially because you're at anchor, man, you're going to be able to pluck the absolute best bait in the Keys out of the water, the Speedo, and then put that out on a kite and bridle it. So, but I'll talk more. I'll do some of that here this fall. And then the second best way to do it is you just make a long ass leader, 75 to 100 foot, free line the bait all the way in the back, past your other baits that you have on the bottom, and then put that bait down 3 to 4 feet, 5 feet, and then you do that by attaching a lead to it, and just let the bait swim to the top, swim to the bottom, and all that good. And you got to hook it through the ass, okay? You're hooking it through the nostrils, you're asking for problems, okay? I'm just telling you, and you're going to catch more fish. It's more action. Trust me, okay? Trust me. And then the last way I recommend, if you really want to free line the bait, then you get your spinning rod, and then you get a big old number 8 circle hook, and the Gamakatsu extra strong 4X, and then you throw that ballyhoo. You hook it through the ass. You throw it way back there, and you just start free lining. Okay, you're gonna get destroyed, but make sure you got some titanium leader on it. Now, a lot of guys, I can't. How do I hook a stinger rig through that? You shouldn't be worrying about that. If you're hooking it through the ass, the fish is going to slash at it. Now, you can use treble hooks. I would use, if you really want to catch the kings, then just use the treble hook. He was going to slash at it, and you're going to catch him. And then hook him that way. So, but don't get too concerned with hooking stingers and trying to flatline fish with stinger rigs on it. I don't know, ballyhoo like that. It's like I just don't get it. But anyways, that's how you're going to catch some big fish, including mutton snappers, and that's something I'll get into here. How I catch large mutton snappers on ballyhoo freelining, and that's something I haven't talked about, and I won't be talking about in a podcast. I'll do that in a course, so it works that well. But hope that helps you guys. I got off on a little bit of a tangent, and I was a little fired up because number one, I just think that I personally think a lot of people are afraid to try new things, and I don't know. I don't live in a bubble when it comes to that stuff. I'm never afraid to fix something. And if I'm constantly having an issue, I fix it or I just do away with it and just put it away. I may put it away for like 3 months and then come back to it when I have a better thought process at fixing it. So that's just how my mind works. So I have to like walk away from it. If you are continually struggling with flatlining baits and you're tangling, there's something wrong, and you need to you need to try to figure out how to fix it. So I really appreciate the emails that I'm getting, and this one just kept coming up and coming up and coming up about flatlining ballyhoo. So I thought I would address it because I had numerous questions about it. So that's why I talked about it today. So I get hundreds of emails, and this one seemed to be like up there a ways. So I thought I'd address it publicly about how I do it. So that's how I do it. So I don't create a clusterfuck. So I fix things, I go at it the right way. And if the conditions don't allow it, I don't do it. So as much as I want to do something, sometimes you just can't. You have to make the most out of the time on the water. Okay? So that's it. That's the way I approach things. I have to make the most out of the time on the water. That may not mean I can rack up 100 fish. Okay, so I fish for quality stuff. So that's just how I work. And sometimes the conditions aren't right, and I just have to keep hustling and trying to keep figuring things out. And that's the same goes with I tell other people is that you really kind of figure stuff out and not try to struggle with it because there's always a way. And there's a lot of it seems like there's a lot of things getting copied out there and regurgitated through magazines now, and they just get recycled. And then I also see a lot of guys copying each other on YouTube stuff, and it's really bizarre. So how that happens. So anyways, so if you have a question about something that's really bothering you and your struggles, then you can email me and I'll see if I can fit it in. Or you can join my group. And then my group has a lot of good fishermen in there, and they're very polite. So my group is the Good Karma Sport Fishing Podcast Facebook group, okay? It's a private group, and you need to fill out the profiles. I'm seeing a lot of people not filling out the profiles, or they're fake. I'm not letting those guys in. So I don't want I don't want any of that. I don't want spammers in there. So if you're not filling out your profile properly, if you don't have a picture, and then you're not getting in the group. So I want guys in there that can communicate and help each other, and that's what the group's there for. So that's all I got for today, guys. I gotta go. I got a busy weekend, and I'm getting ready, and I'm trying to learn something new, and it's frustrating the shit out of me. Hence why my podcast has a little bit of fire in it today. So, but anyway, sometimes you need to light a fire under your ass to get things going. So I'm going to go figure this out and get it done. As much as I don't want to do it, sometimes you just got to do it, and it's kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So, guys, make sure to follow me on Instagram at goodkarmasportfishing_FL_keys, goodkarmafishingtackle.com. I have a lot of guys asking me about the lures that I use. I have the lures that I use, especially the Halco lures in the store, and it's basically an affiliate site. I don't make much money off the site, but I have them on there for you guys and make the reference so it's all there for you guys. So just order through there. So I really appreciate the guys that order through there because it supports the podcast, and it really encourages me to put more good information out there for you guys because loyalty means a lot to me. So that's it. Oh, and don't forget to download the Good Karma Sport Fishing app. And you can download that through the iTunes Store or the Google Play Store. I'll have some fishing reports coming here probably tomorrow. after my trips. I'll tell you guys what's going on. Depending on the seas and stuff, I'm not sure what I'll be doing, but you'll just have to wait and see. And then I'll probably put out another one maybe on Sunday. We just got to see how things are going here with my time. But I'm trying to put those fishing reports for you out there 2 days a week. And if you are a fishing charter that's outside the Keys or down in Key West and you wish to put out a fishing report through the Good Karma Sport Fishing app and wish to do, then you can contact me for rates and all that good stuff. It's a good way to get your name out there and reach the clientele that are looking for fishing charters. So, and if you're looking to build your business this fall, if you're a new fishing charter, then I'm here to help you out. And you can be on the west coast of Florida, you can be in North Carolina, you can be in anywhere in the United States, so, and outside the country as well. That's it. And remember, anytime you're fishing, it's all good. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Little bonus podcast. All good.